Hi, we are occupational therapy students.
from Berry University.
And this is our advocacy video.
Enjoy!
Occupational therapy, the difference between life and living.
I'm an occupational therapist.
An occupational therapist.
I'm an occupational therapist.
I'm an occupational therapist.
I'm an occupational therapist.
I'm an occupational therapist.
I am an occupational therapist.
I am an occupational therapist.
How occupational therapy can help people.
So what is an occupational therapist? Occupational therapists are skilled professionals who help us carry out the activities we need or want to do.
They help people of all ages, including babies and children.
In addition to adults and as we continue to grow older.
Because of physical or mental disabilities, or simply because we're getting older, many of us cannot do the things that really matter to us.
Everyday activities that we take for granted, like washing, getting dressed, going to school, working, or simply being able to play sports or enjoy hobbies. Occupational therapists can help us find other ways to carry out the lives we want to live. Occupational therapy, settings, populations, and interventions. Mental health.
Occupational therapy includes various settings such as mental health. Occupational therapists will work on life skill training, cognitive rehabilitation, social participation, and job exploration.
Pediatrics.
An occupational therapist working in pediatrics can be found working in a hospital, home-based, and school setting. An occupational therapist will help to improve a child's motor skills, sensory skills, and communication skills, all while encouraging creativity and personal growth.
Sensory integration. Sensory integration is a specialty area of occupational therapy that is based on over 40 years of theory and research. The term sensory integration refers to the way the brain organizes sensations for engagement in occupation, a theory based on neuroscience that provides perspective for appreciating the sensory dimensions of human behavior, a model for understanding the way in which sensation affects development. Assessments include standardized testing, systematic observation, and parent or teacher interviews that identify patterns of sensory integration dysfunction. Intervention strategies that enhance information processing, praxis, and engagement in daily life for individuals, populations, and organizations. Hippotherapy.
Hippotherapy in its purest form is carried out by occupational therapists, physiotherapists, and speech therapists. Therapists need to have had the relevant training and hold a certificate of clinical competence if they are using the classical method, as this involves the movement of the horse to influence the client. Hippotherapy can therefore be described as the use of the movement of the horse as a treatment strategy to address impairments, functional limitations, and disabilities in children with neuromotor and sensory dysfunction.
Vocational rehabilitation. Occupational therapists working in vocational rehabilitation settings provide employment services for people with significant physical and/or mental disabilities who want help preparing for work and getting and keeping a job. Here, occupational therapists help people work full-time or as many hours as they can in their community. They help create an individualized employment plan based on the client's wants and needs. Geriatrics.
Occupational therapists help older adults overcome physical challenges and enable them to return to home life. They teach self-care skills, including homemaking, cooking, eating, dressing, and grooming, among other activities. Occupational therapy also aids in emotional and social adjustment following injury, or illness.
Low vision. Occupational therapy practitioners work to ensure that older adults are able to age in place and participate in their communities despite visual impairments. Occupational therapy practitioners are also part of coordinated rehabilitation teams that enable working age adults with visual impairment to acquire or continue independent living and productive employment. Occupational therapy practitioners determine how vision impairment has limited the person's ability to complete specific daily tasks. The practitioner then modifies the task and/or the environment to minimize or remove those limitations. Subacute care.
Subacute care settings include hospitals, clinics, and home-based. Occupational therapists work on strengthening and range of motion exercises, safety and mobility, independence and self-care, and adaptive equipment.
Reporting on the patient's progress or lack of progress.
Why is occupational therapy for you?
Nadesh Black. I chose occupational therapy because I like helping people, solving problems, and having a lot of variety in my job. I will be able to use many types of knowledge and skills while helping people of all ages, from children to geriatrics, learn or relearn to do the activities that matter most to them in their daily life. That's why I want to be an OT. That's why I go to Berry University.
Janice Arca.
I chose occupational therapy because I would like to improve the way others live their life by increasing their independence and their self-esteem. I also want to make a difference in their lives of others, and I know that I chose a career that will challenge me every day.
Vanessa Dorado. I chose occupational therapy after having the privilege of observing an occupational therapist that I worked with for several years. I observed her working with an individual who had mental disabilities by going grocery shopping, locating items, interacting with other people, and pretty much doing the things that we might take for granted. After that session, I was sold. It wasn't like any other therapy session that I had seen before or anything that I had imagined. It was actually fun and interesting for her. She was able to help her learn how to connect with her environment while having fun. It was purposeful, it was meaningful, it was everything that OT has been teaching us from the beginning. As an OT, I would like to help improve an individual's standard of living while giving them a sense of greater independence and self-worth.
The end.
Now clap.